Now, another interesting question, again purely from the Constitution. Can you recall which articles this question is talking about? Let me read the question for you. Right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available to Indian citizens, but these rights are not absolute. Comment. Okay. Somebody will say, sir, no right is absolute. But child, as UPSC is about, how will they basically distinguish between who shall be selected or who shall be given more marks? There need to be judgment, and judgment always need to be based on, as far as possible, on objective premises. So, objective premises, if I say in polity questions, will be that you know here what you should be essentially knowing. Some articles, right of movement and then right of residence. This comes from article, if you remember it, it's good, 19(1) what? D, and this comes from 19(1)E. Okay. So, right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available to Indian citizens. So, it means two articles of the Indian Constitution here have been asked, and from what conditions are coming on them, that has been also talked about, but these rights are not absolute. So, if you are not recalling or remembering article 19(5), then it will be a problem for you. 19(1)D, 19(1)E, article 19(5). This is first thing, like the ingredient of the answer, that when you will be writing, so you need to have this handy with you, then only you can proceed. Okay. So, right of movement and residence, you will come out, it is a 150 words. You will talk about that article 19 in under the part 3rd, that is fundamental rights, happens to be the article associated with liberty of citizens, of freedom of citizens. Various types of freedoms have been talked about here, and under article 19(1)D, right of movement in any part within the territory of India and right to reside in any part within the territory of India under article 19(1)E have been specified for. But at the same time, under article 19(5), it has been specified that in the interest of public, a state can make laws to somewhere restrict your right of movement and residence, and then two things, one is in the public interest and second is in the interest of tribal population. So, two words there, article 19(5), two words, interest of public, that is public interest, and second thing is for tribal population. You need to have an understanding that in regard to it. So, how the language will go and how the answer will come. Initial part we talked about. Now, you will say, so there are state, it has been written there, if I come out with the language, nothing in this article above shall prevent the state from making a law in regard to article 19(1)D and 19(1)E to restrict the above for protecting the public interest and for protection of the interest of tribal population. Fine. This will be the technical language, though you can write it in general form also, that it has been. So, whether it is somewhere really a check? No, it is in very special case, otherwise the right is really available, and we have people, you should give example that people across the country have been living who otherwise may be originating from any state or any district. So, they are living, but yes, in a certain case, but this is not something which is in any way really restricting the rights of people, it is only for limited one. Always understand, if I say that freedom of speech and expression is not absolute in India, it does not mean that there are many checks on freedom of speech and expression in India. It is these checks are only for some specific purposes and which everyone will appreciate that yes, they need to be. Okay? Freedom of speech and expression is not having the checks like a police state will be having. So, suddenly when we talk about that these are not absolute, it should not mean that actually though we are giving, but from the other hand we are taking. No. It is only when your movement somewhere can hinder, encroach upon the rights of others who may not be that capable as you are, then only we will be restricting, or for military purposes, that is different thing, we can definitely do it. Fine friends, so it was an easy question. If you ask me, case laws, still I will say somebody requires a specific preparation, but this is a very easy question. But yes, it was requiring, because if you will not write these, this and this in specific terms, then your scores out of 10 can be as low as 2, 2.5, sometimes even 1. Okay, it will not definitely touch 4 to 6 range, that those marks will not be there, because questions are very specific now. They are not generalized where you can write some vague or generalized observations. Okay.